Good Sunday morning from rainy Georgia. I'm meteorologist Amy Metz giving you the around the world forecast. It is windy today where I was forecasting for WAND TV in central Illinois behind the second cold front of fall for the U.S. It's going to get longer and then help push Ian out away from Florida eventually. But first, there is a state of emergency declared there by the governor right now because of this tropical storm and the fact that it will intensify before it reaches Florida. All the way toward the east, there's tons more going on. So let's head a little bit east of Ian right now, where Invest 99L is. This storm is going to become a low pressure, a batch of thunderstorms that won't do much. Circling around in Bermuda is about it. Then we have Africa here and Ermine over here. So as we go through the next couple of days with this storm, it's mostly going to go north where Gaston is on its way toward the north, but not quite as far to the east as Gaston. So what we have here is Portugal and then some of Portugal's islands that are going to be affected by the thunderstorms and some of the stronger winds and waves associated with Gaston. But the strongest of all of these is definitely over in the Philippines today. Super typhoon Karding, also known as Noru, is making its way across the Philippines. So watch as this restarts, and you'll notice a very well-defined eye wall forming over here before it makes its landfall. So this right here is where we have a super typhoon, or what's known as a major hurricane in the United States, approaching north of Manila, which is the capital of the Philippines here. So as this continues across land in this area, it's going to become very dangerous. 30-foot waves with this storm, 240 kilometer per hour sustained wind. So there will be stronger gusts before this storm decreases. As it interacts with all of this land and mountains, it will disrupt that flow, not become as strong, but later on we'll head out toward Vietnam. So we're still watching the storm for there. And go ahead and I'll share more on how space weather is going to affect these storms as well, and why we had so much lightning increase in this week's edition of my space weather show that I'm sharing because I'm getting my master's in space weather now to help better our hurricane models. To learn more about how space weather affects you and our weather, go to Space and Earth Weather on Facebook. That's a group I started so we can talk about things like that filament eruption off of the sun and what it means. I have tons of group members in here who share great things, including this footage from Tornado Tackler, who I'll be interviewing in this week's edition of our guest star. He caught this footage during Hurricane Laura, who walks out into a Cat 4 storm. Anyway, it wasn't him, but here's more from our guest this week, Kyle Cutten, Tornado Tackler.
Hola.
How are you doing?
Good. What do you think of what's coming up?
Oh my gosh. I think that there's still good 50-50 chance we get something in the Gulf, but to be honest, I have all my best guesses going closer over to Florida, like tropical storm Cat 1 status, kind of south central Florida.
Really? You don't think it's going to get up to Alabama?
No.
Well, I'm going to be down there. I've got everything set up.
Well, that's awesome. Then good. We'll be watching Kyle Cutten, Tornado Tackler, keeping up with all these things. I'm going to be sharing a lot of Kyle's footage throughout this whole series, showing the recaps on this last week's storms. I'm sure, Kyle, you're going to end up having a lot of footage that I want to show.
I'm filming 4 more episodes of Deadline to Disaster, and then we're still working on the 1955 Udall. We're working with the company that procures just 8mm footage. So hopefully this winter we'll be farther along on that. And then we're finishing up the show for Travel Channel production company that's 50 Storms, 50 States. I got 7 terabytes over the last year and a half that I've been trying to sift through. So hopefully it's all good stuff and just helps people be weather aware and get in front of it and people are safe. So.
Definitely. On that note, you have 7 terabytes. We did a lot of work together too on Hurricane Laura. We were featured on the Deadline to Disaster Weather Channel show as well for that. So for that, I want to show something right now to everybody. We did I did a documentary with Kyle with both of our footage together, how we operated and worked through that storm together to get him in the eye wall for his very first hurricane ever. So I'm going to show that to you guys right now.
Cat 4.
Now that Laura has passed Cuba, we are looking at a possible rapid intensification as the warmer waters in the Gulf interact with this storm.
So here is what's going on right now with the Josephine tropical storm. But this would be a new development off the west coast of Africa, and it's starting to get a counterclockwise spin.
Anywhere east of where this makes landfall is going to be extremely dangerous, including the wind speeds within the eye wall. So we'll get back on the ground and see what's going on near Beaumont.
Watching Fort Ranchers rushing up and down this highway as fast as they can. We're seeing people in absolute desperation pulled over. We're seeing people at gas stations in dire need.
We're already seeing rising waters in Dauphin Island. This is Alabama, 250 miles away from the center of Laura. Hours and hours before landfall. But places closer to Louisiana, we could be seeing 3 to 8 foot rises of water up to 10 feet. Back to you, Kyle.
Definitely the weather just changed again, Amy. Huge pressure change. Come up on the 4th floor of the parking structure across from the Chase Bank. All right, guys, we're in intercept mode. We're gonna go tackle this bad boy right now. So we're leaving the fortress. The fortress is still leavable. The roads are still drivable. And we're just opportunistic, so we're going. Dude, there's another power flash. There might be a tornado on the ground over here. Just to the right. What do you got for radar?
All of the red zones here are where we have tornadoes indicated by radar. So we're getting real-time reports of where those touchdowns are.
Yeah, we went to go chase the tornado on the ground. But my partner over here decided to make the smart, safe call, and I do not question it.
Oh, that building's coming off.
Oh, where are they?
Watch out, get out, get out, get out!
What the hell was that guy doing? He's hurt. He's hurt bad.
Oh, that building's coming off.
Oh, where are they?
Watch out, get out, get out, get out! Get out!
Ooh, that was a big one. That was a smash.
Hurricane Laura has made landfall as a Category 4 storm in Cameron, Louisiana at 1 a.m. local time. This is now approaching the storm chasers in Lake Charles, Louisiana, where we're going to check back in because they're getting readings of 150 miles per hour with these eye wall winds.
Suction. You can't even open the door. Coming at us.
So we lost connection there, but not too big of a surprise. I do have them in my ear still. I can hear that they're safe. We're going to pick up some other camera feeds.
Still a Cat 4. Tomorrow's search and recovery, so we're going to start out first thing at daylight and start see what we can do to help. I've never seen devastation in person in my life like this. This city is going to take years to recover.
Power line, and the snap sign here.
Look at the columns are collapsed. Paddle boat went into the bridge. A lot of damage. Pretty gnarly.
You guys doing all right?
You good? Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, west like this.
He rode that whole storm out, Amy. He rode that whole storm, and literally the water was right up to there. while water is coming over the top. Here we come, the storage dock. This was ripped off, and he rode it the whole night like this.
All the scars are still surrounding us here. Very few places have rebuilt. Some have decided to tear down. A lot of the corporate buildings are back together and intact. Some buildings that were next to demolished streets are all standing fine.
Man. How long are you guys planning on being on site?
Over here probably 1 week. Completely finished. Maybe 6 or 7 months.
I'm trying to get people to build dome homes.
Oh yeah?
Tell everybody this house is shaped like domes.
Oh,
They'll
the dome
stay.
house.
Yeah.
You know where's a lot of dome homes? It's in Italy. Italy, Texas.
Italy and Texas?
Yeah, there's a dome home.
Really?
It's a community over there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a dome. Even the stadium over there, where the high school, it's a dome. Maybe it's like get to the red roof over there.
Well, that wraps it up for this week's edition of Wow, the World of Weather. I'm your host, meteorologist Amy Metz, thanking our guest with this outro credits, Kyle Cutten, the Tornado Tackler, for appearing on my first series. We met on Facebook and have enjoyed working weather together since then. Anyone else who likes to contribute to any of this online sharing, go ahead, send this stuff to me on social media. You know how to find me. Let's make this show together. Join me next week.